Hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, Adam here, and you're about to listen to a hypnosis session that was created for a client that felt that it was too much hassle, too much trouble to actually prepare proper meals. And every now and then they would start, but then feel this urge just to get something a bit more convenient. But actually, this particular client was a big fan of adventure, and they'd done certain things in their life that were way outside of their comfort zone. So there was an element of them that liked the challenge, liked adversity, liked when things weren't easy. So what you're going to hear in this hypnosis session is a very metaphorical session that uses fairy tale language to create the idea of a quest. And part of that quest is utilizing food in almost this kind of magical spellbinding way that actually food is not just food. Food is a vehicle to express love, self-love, kindness, connection. It has all of these different connotations. So this hypnosis session would be useful for anyone that wants to have a better relationship with food and creating meals. So if you're the kind of person that has lots of snacks and processed foods, lots of takeout, then I think you'll get some value from this session, even though it was created for someone else. If you like the hypnosis that I create, and maybe you don't want to be listening to my intros and explanations every time, you just want to get the real hypnosis session without any of the stuff around it, right now there's a link in the description that's going to give you 22 separate hypnosis downloads with no intro, no outro, just the hypnosis. So you can actually find that in the link in the description. So check out that. And if you like the idea of working with me rather than just listening to my recordings, there's also going to be a link where you can schedule a free consultation call to explore working with me. For now though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in that slow, long, relaxing breath. And as you exhale, feel that sense of release. The feelings of tension, stress, and worry, just feel that they're melting away and leaving your body in your outward breath as you're able to drift to a place deep within your imagination, a place within your imagination where ideas can be planted like seeds in nature to create inspiration, goals and plans that steer your life into wonderful new directions. And as you breathe in and breathe out, I wonder if you can remember a time from your childhood, a time when someone was reading you a story. And I want you to go back to that place where you felt safe and comfortable and happy. And maybe it was a bedtime story and you can imagine being in that bed. And you could imagine someone opening a book and saying something like, "Once upon a time." And notice how your imagination starts to create a scene from long ago. And I want you to create within your imagination a kingdom with a castle and forests and wild horses and lakes and streams. And as the story is being told, I want you to imagine wandering around that ancient kingdom. And imagine you're in the kingdom on a sunny spring day with blue skies, a gentle breeze. That's it. Going to that place of deep calm and relaxation. And in that place, you begin to notice the rhythm of your breath. Inhaling gently and exhaling for longer and more slowly. And in this kingdom, you feel safe because the kingdom is just in your imagination, and you can just let go and simply be. Be calm, confident, but also adventurous in this kingdom. That's right. And with each breath, I wonder if you could allow your attention to drift inward. And I want you to imagine finding an old cottage somewhere in the kingdom. And I want you to imagine this cottage belonged to an ancient ancestor of yours. And in this cottage is an old cookbook filled with ancient recipes and rituals. Imagine picking up that heavy cookbook and flicking through the pages. And for some reason, the pages seem familiar, even if you've never read them before. But part of the recipe requires you to forage for new foods. And sometimes when you're flipping through pages of a book, your imagination takes you deeper into a dreamlike state. And as you flip through the cookbook in the ancient cottage, I want you to imagine standing at the edge of a forest. And not just any forest. Imagine a sacred place of nourishment. The kind of place where every step forward is a step deeper into yourself. Your curiosity, your creativity, your care. And with every step you take, I'd like you to imagine descending deeper into this state of focused relaxation. Deeper and deeper, a place where intentions naturally grow into actions, and actions become rituals, like spells that nourish the body, mind, and soul. And imagine in this kingdom within your imagination, in this ancient forest, you begin to realize something profound. That cooking isn't a chore or a task to tick off, but a magical ceremony, a personal ritual, a way of expressing presence, care, and identity. In this new chapter of your life, even with the quirks of an electric cooker and a kitchen that wasn't designed with practicalities in mind, you begin to adapt and relish the challenge like a seasoned traveler. Someone who once chose challenge because it made their life more adventurous. And what if your own kitchen became a portal into new adventures? At any point in time, your kitchen becomes your next expedition, where you can imagine yourself like an adventurer, a forager on a quest to seek out ingredients not just for sustenance, but for experience, where each meal begins with a thought, an intention, a question. What do I want to feel after I eat this? What would nourish me most right now? And what if, as you research and explore and browse, you find joy in the journey itself? The cultural roots of each dish, the nutrition behind every color on your plate. Each ingredient has a story, an evolution. And what if, rather than being the listener of the story, you become the storyteller? Each meal you prepare tells a story, and you get to bring it all home like treasures gathered on a journey, laying them out to be discerning. What have you grown, found, or discovered that could be utilized? And in that moment, the kitchen transforms. The chopping board becomes an altar. The sizzle of a pan is the opening song, and the smell of herbs releasing their aroma is almost casting a spell over you, because you are both the magician and the artist, and you can prepare meals slowly, thoughtfully, noticing the textures beneath your fingers, the colors on the plate. These rituals feels like you're casting a spell, concocting a potion that changes your mood and the mood of any guests. And when the time comes to eat, you do so mindfully, using all of your senses. Each bite an act of celebration, chewing slowly, tasting fully, allowing your senses to drink in the full experience. What if your biggest discovery is that the more attention and love you give to your meals, the more your body receives? A karmic cycle. That the more effort you put in, the more reward you enjoy. And not just nutrients. It's the meanings, the connections, the sense of accomplishment. Because even if you eat alone, you are never truly alone, because you are joined by the cultures, the hands and lands that shaped the food before you. Generation after generation has influenced what we grow, what we see, what we eat. But what if the real quest was to find, forage, prepare and cook, and then share with others? So imagine being back in that cottage, but no longer looking in the recipe book, but seeing a crystal ball. And in this crystal ball, I want you to see you embarking on a quest. A quest where you prepare a meal for others, where all of the ingredients required work and effort to either grow, find, select, or forage. See yourself preparing that food with intention, love, a desire to share. And see yourself inviting others to eat. Maybe you see the dining table. But eating is just a catalyst for connection. See yourself explaining how you found the ingredients, the stories, the significance of the foods, the senses. See the connection, the laughter, the smiles. To witness the joy of a meal crafted with purpose. In every culture, food is a love language, a ritual, a form of mindfulness that's been made edible. And from this moment forward, you will unleash a desire to take on these quests, to feel a growing pride in every meal you prepare, even the simplest ones. And you feel a new connection between your intention and your nourishment. And the more thought you put into a meal, the more satisfaction and enjoyment you feel. And the more mindful your chewing becomes, the more you notice and enjoy the flavors. And the more curious you are, the more adventurous you become. Each recipe becomes a chapter, a milestone in your culinary quest. And even when something is imperfect, you can smile, because the goal is not perfection, it's progress. Because it's real, it's yours. And you can own the journey and the destination as you begin to trust that preparing food with love is an act of self-love. It's preparing a better relationship with yourself. And maybe you have an idea who you would invite for that meal. And in doing so, you have set an intention. The quest has already begun. And you get to practice on yourself first. What you do for yourself, you can do for others. As you are steering your life into a future of more connection, more independence, more nutrition, but also more vitality. As you leave the cottage in that ancient kingdom, hear the words that signify the ending of a story. Perhaps the words happily ever after. And allow yourself to drift back to the here and the now as you take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, connect and calibrate into the here and the now. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. That's it. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.